What's up? This is Pastor John. Thanks for taking a few moments to hang out with me today. This is part 2 in my series of When an Introvert Prays for Strangers. If you watched my first video, which you'll find the link for it in the description, I introduced you to Eric, who was a homeless gentleman in downtown Atlanta. Today, I want to introduce you to Greg. Now, Greg's not homeless, but I met him kind of the same way that I met Eric. I was out with my camera. I wasn't in downtown Atlanta. I was actually photographing a small, rural, almost forgotten town. It was a cold day. It was below 30 all day, and that was pretty cold for Georgia standards. And even though it was cold, Eric was out on his bike, and it was a Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, so everything was closed, and so I kind of stood out. So we had to swing by and see what I was up to. Turns out he was from this little small town, and he began to tell me all about it. Around the turn of the 20th century, this was a shopping, bustling city, and from the surrounding cities, everybody would ride their horse and buggies back in those days, and they would come out on a Saturday and shop and eat at the restaurants before heading home. He showed me the building that was crumbling and falling apart. That was where they would park the horse and buggies, and they would care for the horses and brush them and feed them. And he showed me the old cotton gin and the old gas station later once cars became a thing. And I began to talk to him, and we must have talked literally for an hour to 2 hours before I finally asked him, "Can I pray for you?" You should have seen his eyes light up. They just got so huge, and he was so, "Yes, I would love for you to pray for me." So I said a little prayer, spoke for a few moments, and then we parted our ways. You know, Greg he was out there again riding his bike, thought it was the day, nothing was going to be open in the town, and he runs into a stranger. And he engages in a conversation, and he gets prayed for. Not that my prayers are all that, but there again, God orchestrated a moment. And I shared that concept in the first video, but again, to be the right person at the right place at the right time to be a blessing. Again, I was just out taking pictures. And what's even cooler about this story, you see, this town wasn't the one that I intended to photograph. I'd actually been at another town earlier in the day. And I'd finished up there, and I was on my way home, and some of these buildings just grabbed my attention, and I was going to stop for just a few minutes. Had I not stopped, I wouldn't have met Eric. Now, I know God doesn't do random. He doesn't do chance, and I am confident that He set all this up because He needed to let Eric know that he was aware of who he was and what was going on in his life. I'm not aware of any deep issues or struggles he was going through at that time, but I'm confident that God needed to let him know that God saw him. So I always want to encourage you as you go about your ordinary days, pray that you can be the right person at the right place at the right time to be a blessing. It's not always the big events. It often happens in the small, sometimes what we think are unimportant opportunities. But God can use them, and they can become something wonderful. And whenever I see Greg's photo, I'll say a prayer for him. I pray that he's blessed, that he's well, that he's healthy. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to head out to this town again and track him down and spend some time with him once again, have some good conversation. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. That really helps my channel out. And let me know in the comments, have you had opportunity to talk to strangers, to meet strangers, to pray with them, to share the gospel with them? I would love to hear your story. Feel free to share this with your friends and family. And if you're looking for more videos to help you find greater faith in Jesus in the everyday, then be sure and subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss whenever I upload a new video. And I pray that you are covered by God's grace and peace. May you be anointed with His wisdom and revelation so that you might know God better. Until next time, be strong and courageous.